How I create a prompt to write all of my live webinars for my coaching business. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I want you to create a prompt to generate a prompt um, for an event landing page talking about how to sell AI prompts and side projects. Okay, and we want to make it very specific. And I think what people need to go ahead and get is like, the generally speaking, this is the anatomy of like the ChatGPT prompt format right here, like the role, the task, the context, the reasoning, the output, stop conditions. So like it's actually better if you're talking about like prompt engineering. So if we're talking about like prompt engineering, basics to draft an event page, to draft a landing page for an AI product management webinar, right? So here's what I'm going to go ahead and do. The first thing that I always tell is you want to pull up Gemini. Why? Because ChatGPT is really good, but at the same time, you don't want to go ahead and completely blow your load on ChatGPT, right? So the first thing is I always tell Gemini, I want your help to create a prompt, to draft a landing page for AI product managers on how to sell AI side projects and AI prompts for $1,000 a day, right? Day. Here's the context. Product managers are required. Here's the context, right? In order for product managers to stay competitive and ahead of their peers in this market, in this job market, whether they are on the job hunt or on the job, they need to learn AI. However, we're going to give it some more context. We're going to follow this format right here, right? I'm going to start with context. And you don't have to do it in a chronological order at all. You can just do it in whichever order that you want because you're going to prompt the machine. However, learning AI as a product manager is often, I'm going to talk about the problems, overwhelming, confusing. And you don't, you just now want to just list shit, right? There is always too much information. And it costs money to learn AI. You have to purchase credits, subscriptions, APIs. You have to go out there and purchase all this shit, right? So, I, as a product manager career coach and owner of a product manager bootcamp, understands this pain, and instead of forcing people to learn AI, by pure, blunt force trauma, or grind it out with good old fashioned hard work, I would much rather inspire people to learn AI by making it fun. Okay. The best way to keep product managers or anybody, okay, engaged in learning AI is if they are making money learning AI. And being in a position to either sell their side projects, their prompts, you know, or provide freelance consulting services. Having a side project that you have monetized from also makes you a much more interesting product manager candidate on interviews, and it also provides you with real hands-on training and experience, okay, if you are on the job, because there are still a lot of companies that are slow to adopt and integrate AI beyond basic ChatGPT engine, prompting to achieve a marginal level of productivity for everyday tasks, right? So what do I want from this? Okay, I want a list of catchy webinar titles, because the entire point of writing this entire thing to generate a webinar is I want you guys to come to the webinar. I want people to see how cool this is, book a call, and then they enroll in the program, right? But how do I know that this webinar title is going to be good? So I want a list of catchy webinar titles for me to choose from. And I want at least 5 webinar titles for me to play with. Okay. And I'm going to give it some more context. The webinar is going to take place on Tuesday. And I'm just going to pull out the date. So, okay, so Tuesday, so September 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time or 5 p.m. Pacific Time, okay? Now, this is what I want, right? I also want to include in the body, I also want to go ahead and include in the body of the event page some social proof from people that have taken the product management program at my bootcamp, Product Gym, that have generated income in the past, which made for better interviews and higher levels of engagement, to learning more AI tools, right? Now, what else am I going to need beyond this? Okay, I am going to need a list, okay, a series of LinkedIn social media posts to promote the event to promote the live webinar. Okay, I'm going to need, because right now we're posting it late, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to need a 5-day email campaign, okay, to promote live webinar attendees from my email list and newsletter subscribers. Okay, what else do I basically need at this point right now? I think that's really all I need. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I need, right? So right now, if you go ahead and you create all of this first, like I'm gonna need like a list of like LinkedIn because I have like people there. Okay. I'm also going to need some social media posts that I can publish on X that are going to be shorter than, you know, the social media posts I will promote on LinkedIn. So, you know, different formats value different things. So on LinkedIn, you sometimes want to see like a little bit longer posts, but sometimes on like X, it's optimized for shorter posts, right? So you want to also be cognizant of that because ultimately we want to get people coming into these webinars. And then what else do I want to go ahead and do with this? So I also want webinar replay email draft, email copy drafted for me to increase the number of people who either were not able to attend the live webinar session or would like to watch the live webinar session again on YouTube, because that is where I am going to post the recording. So I think some other additional context is I'm recording a video right now for y'all, so I would just go out there and type it out. But I'm actually getting very used to just annotating it with my voice on my phone while I'm just lying around because I'm getting old and my back hurts and, you know, I'm getting tired all over, right? So, you know, I'll think about all the stuff that I want because I'll send out an email afterwards to make sure people didn't, you know, watch it. And then let's see here. I also want you to include in the landing page that I have prompts and side project references I can provide the attendees to start monetizing off their AI side hustle, right? So the first thing I'm going to do here is there's a few levels to this. So I want you to help me create a prompt. So this is the first one. So there's a few steps by the steps into this. So step by step, let's say complete guide to prompt engineering. Live webinar landing page. Yeah. And then so this is the first thing I'm going to do here is I want your help to create this prompt. So I'm going to come here. And I'm just going to click on this first. I'm going to let this thing work its magic. and conversion capture, da 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 da. Wow, okay, great. So this is actually very awesome right here. So now I have the prompt. Where I can include some more context and what else I expect to provide for the attendees who are, you know, product manager transitioners for this live webinar. I want you to include this in the prompt. So it's going to say, as a senior, you, okay, boom. I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to take this right here, and I am just going to go out there and do this, and I'm just going to go out there and click on that, and now I'm just going to go ahead, and this is basically step 2 right now, right? Which is really right here, I would say step 1. Create the prompt. Okay, now, so here's an updated, revise. Okay, so I'm gonna add this. So I'm actually just going to go out there and click on that. Now that I actually have the prompt, add the context with the prompt. Boom. I'm going to take all this right here. Then I'm going to go back to Gemini. And I'm going to take all this. Boom. So now I have all of this. From code to cash. I like that. Now I want the entire copy landing page written out for me to copy and paste onto my Eventbrite page. Boom. Now we basically have it. If you want to go ahead and also cross-reference it for like ChatGPT or like Claude, you can always just go ahead and do that. But I am just going to go ahead and take this, master the AI gold rush, turn your AI side projects and prompts into, wow, I love it. I really do love it. That's basically it. This is how we prompt, baby. This is how we print cash. Hit me up. Hit me up. I'm ready. I'm ready for y'all.